Hello and welcome to another edition of Health Solutions with Shawn and Janet Needham, where Team Needham discusses everything healthcare. I'm your host, Shawn Needham, along with my wonderful wife, Janet, and we are streaming live from the Moses Lake Professional Pharmacy Podcast Studio. And we are super excited to have Trisha Ausbun on our show today. She has an incredible health journey and lost 102 pounds to be exact over the last few years. She's going to tell us that story. She's been maintaining her weight for like a year now, and we're just excited to inspire others on our podcast. And that's why we do this, to educate and empower individuals to take charge of their own health. So Trisha, welcome to our show.
Hi, thanks you guys. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. So tell us about your health journey. How did it all start?
Yeah, so I was very athletic in high school, but I was still close to 200 pounds. I'm 5'10". I was always the big girl. So always like uncomfortable in my skin, uncomfortable in pictures with people, but it's just who I was. And I completely accepted it and said, well, this is what my body is, and I'm just going to make the best of it. So I gained tons and tons of weight several times and lost a little bit here and there, but I had hit 246 pounds and I just decided it was time to take control. I made a quick phone call and I got asked, do you want the health and nutrition side or do you want the primary practice side? And that was my clue to say, you know what, I'm going to take control of my health for once. So at 46 years old, I said, I am done being the big girl and I'm going to figure out how to do this for my body. And so
Awesome.
I started there.
Congratulations on your weight loss. Vanessa, go ahead and show those pictures so our listeners and viewers, I guess our viewers can see those pictures. Very, very dramatic weight loss. I mean, congratulations on that.
Thank
Um,
you.
one thing that Jan and I talk about when people lose weight is it's so much more than, your inner body follows your outer body. So when your outer body starts looking better, your inner body, all your labs, like your cholesterol and your blood pressure and all that kind of stuff, your cardiovascular risk, all that stuff goes down. So you can tell a lot by looking in the mirror. So congratulations on your weight loss.
Thank you. And I will share, I did actually have a heart attack when I was 45. I felt a lot of numbness in my jaw and my shoulder. I walked into an urgent care clinic and I said, I think I'm having a heart attack. They hooked me up and they said, you absolutely are. And I spent 5 days in critical care. And that was kind of a part of me going, wow, I'm healthy. I ride horses. I do like Spartan races. I work really hard. I thought I ate well. And I didn't understand why I had that heart attack. And you're absolutely correct. I saw my cardiologist a week ago and he said, Trisha, you're at 17% body fat. You are so healthy. You have cleared up the tachycardia. Your cholesterol is amazing. All your labs are amazing. He's like, I don't know how you did this, but I love that you did. So my heart's nice and healthy and I'll get to chase my grandkids around forever. So it really does change everything inside as well. And that's what makes you feel so good and shine a little different, I think.
Right. You had the heart attack when you were overweight, or was it when you were
Yes.
losing weight? You did.
No,
I
overweight.
mean, not surprised, right? I mean,
Not at all.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So Janet, what questions do you have for Trisha?
Well, Trisha, I imagine you had some failures along the way. And so what I think people need to hear is that, to get to success, sometimes we do have to go through some ups and downs. But what was different? Because there's usually something different that changes when something works for you. What was so different on this journey versus the last times when it didn't go your way?
Well, we took a look at my hormones. So I did some lab panels and we looked at my testosterone. And that's a common misconception is women think that testosterone is a male hormone, and it definitely is not. It regulates cortisol. It helps with the abdominal fat. It levels your body out completely. And so looking at that and understanding that, hey, I have no testosterone. I'm a high anxiety person. I carry a lot of stress. My cortisol's through the roof. And so looking at the bioidentical hormones really changed that, getting my testosterone elevated into to a therapeutic level, I think was a huge part in long-term success on this plan. Peptides, looking at different peptides and vitamin levels, looking through my body just at a completely different lens through like a health journey, saying, okay, where are my vitamin levels? Where are my hormone levels? What changes can I make that are more than just diet and exercise, right? Because it's not feasible when you're 100 pounds overweight. And so that made a huge difference, was optimizing my testosterone, my hormone levels.
Well, Janet and I talk about how important testosterone is for men
Yeah.
and women all the time, and I'm
Yeah.
glad you cleared that up. That testosterone is not just for men. Women make testosterone also, just at less than men. So, and you're right, it can do so many beneficial things, to burn fat, maintain lean body mass, increase your bone density,
Yeah.
all kinds of great things that testosterone does.
I
And
will tell you, I had a bone scan, and they said I had osteostenoma, and I spent a year on the pellet therapy, and I no longer have osteostenoma. So my bone density has physically increased even on a DEXA scan, which, I mean, that's hard fact proof,
yeah,
which is
and
great.
and we really shouldn't be surprised. One of the things
Yeah.
that Jen and I talk about all the time with the run-of-the-mill bone density drugs that are prescribed for osteopenia or osteoporosis, um, you know, the biphosphonates like Fosamax, the Prolia, the Forteo, all three of those are indicated for postmenopausal women. Well, what do postmenopausal women lack? They lack hormones. They don't lack Fosamax. You
Right.
know,
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
it's very important to understand that. And believe me, one of our goals is to educate patients and educate prescribers about that, so they can be doing the right thing. And hormones are a game changer.
Huge game changer. I was on 13 medications. I was on medication for anxiety. I was on medication for pain. I was on medication for inflammation, rheumatoid arthritis. I had being tested for a ton of different autoimmune diseases. And I'm like, I'm in my 40s. I shouldn't open 13 pill bottles a day. Now that I'm on the bioidentical hormones, I take iodine, I take an ADK supplement, I take a methyl factor, and and a serene, just like a sleep kind of best night sleep type of supplement, and that's all I take. I don't take any prescription medications. Yeah,
And we hear that all the time.
yeah,
Congratulations on that.
yeah.
And just
Thank you.
think about how that changed your life. Um, if you hadn't have made these changes in your life, you would, well, first of all, you might not be alive. If you already had a
Exactly.
heart attack, right? If you had a heart attack at 45 and you didn't
Right.
change your ways, and I don't
Yeah.
care what studies they show me about all the medications you were taking, whether it be cholesterol drugs or high blood pressure drugs and all these other drugs to prevent all these heart attacks and strokes or cardiovascular disease. Let's face it, I don't care what the studies say. If you're 100 pounds overweight, those those drugs aren't going to prevent those problems. We're
But
lying
they
to
make you,
ourselves. Right.
yeah, they
And,
make
and,
you
and they have lots of side
lethargic.
effects. Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, I think what's happened in our society is that we forget the natural things in our body that are extremely important. And one of the hot topics in our country right now is the word insulin resistant. What really is, it's inflammation. We have so much inflammation that our body cells can't respond to the nutrients that it really needs, how to uptake it, how to burn fat, because everything is like in a scream mode. Like, I can't handle this. I don't know what to do. And really, taking testosterone alone, it did help, I'm sure, but there had to be some changes dietary too. And that's something Shawn and I talk about a lot. Like, how did that change? Give us a picture of what it was and where it is now.
I will tell you, I think just I was a stress eater and an emotional eater. And so it was a huge accomplishment for me to drive 13 miles without stopping at fast food. That was like one of my biggest days ever. So it was taking a moment and understanding, and people say mindful eating, but what is mindful eating, right? Like, you're telling a girl that can't drive past McDonald's to eat mindfully. And so I actually saw a food therapist and I said, help me. I love eating a McDouble. And she said, then go get one. And huh? So she said, but chew it slowly and pay attention to the textures and the flavors and the tastes in it. And then 2 hours later, I want you to write down how you're feeling. So, man, I couldn't drive there fast enough. I got my McDouble and I started chewing on it and I was like, this tastes like exhaust. Like, I feel like I'm breathing air on the freeway. Like, and I realized what I liked was the way the onions were cut small and I liked the pickle. So, like, this is what I like off of this thing, right? And so 2 hours later, I was sweaty. My hands were clammy. My skin was red. My knees were aching. And so to not only pay attention when you're eating and slow down, but to pay attention to how you feel afterwards. And then she said, and then I want you to make something else that you like that you consider healthy. And I want you to do the same thing. I love barbecue and chicken. So I made some barbecue chicken with a salad with some strawberries and dried cranberries in it with a raspberry vinaigrette. And I sat down and I ate that. And 2 hours later, I was up doing chores and my knees weren't hurting and my body felt better. And I was like, now I get it. Now I absolutely get the role that nutrition plays in my body. So I do pay attention. And if I eat something that I notice a couple hours, like, wow, I don't feel very good right now. What did I eat? And I'll write it down and remind myself, like, go ahead and eat that if you want to, but remember how you feel when you do it. And so that's been a big game changer for me in understanding like what mindful eating means. And that's in a food journal is definitely, I mean, it's a sticky note in my pocket most days. And then it goes into my Fitbit app in the evening. But that's huge, I think, is paying attention to what you eat and how you feel after you eat it.
That's so true. And you, I think the mindful part is just being aware,
Yeah.
of what you're eating. And I think that's one reason why we talk about people tracking what they eat. Why they, in MyFitnessPal, or there's all kinds of apps out there to track what foods you put in your body. And I don't think it's necessary. I used to do it religiously for like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
But then I realized that I don't. I know when I eat bad. I mean,
Mhm.
and I think those apps can kind of teach you that. If you actually are honest about to yourself and you track
Right.
everything you put in there, and at the end of the day, because you've eaten a bunch of junk, you've eaten 4,000 calories of junk, which is not that hard to do, honestly.
It's not.
Right? You eat at McDonald's twice, you've got 4,000 calories. I mean, excuse me. So I think those apps can also teach you how to eat mindfully. I love that you shared that and that worked for you, because that's exactly what are you putting in your body and how does it make you feel?
Well, it
The
changes
other
your
thing I do,
relationship. Go ahead.
absolutely. Oh, the other thing I do is I hit my goal weight in protein every day. So I get 150 grams of protein a day. It's just so essential for feeding your muscles and keeping your energy levels well. It also keeps me from binge eating like later in the day. So it really helps my food addiction. If I get that 150 grams of protein every single day. Now I weigh 144 pounds, but I do that 150 grams of protein daily, and
Yep.
I just feel like it keeps me more level throughout the day.
Well, the thing about protein is it's satiating. It makes you feel full. And
Yeah.
especially if you're eating real food protein. So if you're
Yeah.
eating chicken and beef and whole food protein sources, it's they just make you feel full.
Yeah.
And then you won't eat the other stuff. I mean, that's just reality. And Jan and I talk about that all the time. Focus on your protein, eat your meat first, and a lot of that other stuff you won't eat.
Yep. Yep. That's exactly what I do. And I say if it can live in a cabinet, it can live in my body longer than it should. So I really try to do like food that's going to expire within a couple of weeks is usually what I'll choose to eat.
We have a tip that we tell patients: if it doesn't rot, don't eat it.
Right.
Exactly.
Which is exactly what you're saying. So it looks like you have a fan follower.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Oh, Kyle. Kyle
Hi,
says hi, Trish.
Kyle. Yeah.
That's how I thought you were from Tri-Cities, because I know Kyle. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah.
Go ahead,
So
Jan.
On health journeys, usually there's also some activities that come along with this. I mean, usually to turn your bones around and your cardiac situation. Tell us about what you did for exercise and how that's changed as well.
So there's an app on YouTube called Pop Fit Sugar, and they're 10-minute exercise routines that use your body weight. And so I figured in the amount of space my body takes in 10 minutes, I can definitely do something every day. So I started with just the 3 and 5 pound weights with a goal that you'd be able to see my muscles in a t-shirt without me flexing. So that was my long-term goal. And I did these 10-minute workouts every time if I would sit down and open Facebook and I realized, wow, I've been mindlessly scrolling for 5 minutes,
Yeah.
I would jump up and do a 10-minute workout. And I started it, once a day, and then it went to twice a day. And now I do 5 or 6 a day. And it just stops me from wasting time. Like, it's really easy to sit on TikTok for an hour. So give yourself 50 minutes on TikTok and do 10 minutes of movement. So that was one thing that I do for strength training. And then when it comes to like cardio, I do a lot of social media for my work. And so instead of sitting in bed or on the couch or, sitting with chips next to me or whatever, I just get on the treadmill and I figure I'm going to spend an hour on social media. So I'm going to walk at a decent pace for an hour while I do this. I mean, and so I just decided that I'm going to multitask. I'm going to walk while I do this. And then pretty soon, like now, I don't even work on social media at the gym because I'm so focused on my own workout that I don't want to. So it really just kind of traded one addiction for another, per se.
Mhm.
Because how many hours a day do we waste being
Oh,
dormant,
right. I
looking at
think
pictures of people?
yeah, most of us are guilty of it. I know I am. I
Yeah,
remember one time, um, Janet was gonna do a workout, and I was scrolling social media. And
yeah,
next thing I know, she's done with her workout. And it'd been
yeah,
like 30 or 40 minutes. I'm like, you're done already? And I'm like, I thought about the time I just wasted while she was productive,
yeah,
working her body. So it's easy to do that with social media. And it's also, when people say they don't have time, I mean, one of the things you can say, it's like, well, how much time are you on your phone on social media? Just
yeah,
ask them that. It's like, well, yeah, that's probably true.
yeah.
So,
It
So,
just
do you
gets
have anxiety anymore?
No, I mean, I do. I really want to do a great job at everything I do. And so I do. I'm like, okay, how am I going to do the best at this? And so
Mhm.
what I've really been the testosterone is huge. I can definitely tell when my levels are getting pretty low because I start to
Mhm.
get anxious and kind of neurotic. And then I'm like, okay, let's draw my blood and see where I'm at. And that's usually the first issue.
Mhm.
And I'm able to control my exercise. I'm able to control what I eat. So being able to, those are, your reaction is to what happens around you is the only thing you have complete control over. But you also have complete control over moving your body and your nutrition. So for me, putting those three things together have really helped me take life head on through some really major challenges. This last few years have been absolutely insane for me, and it would have been really easy to go the other way. I was telling Shawn I lost a job that I put my heart and soul into, built a business from the ground up, built relationships with my patients, and it was devastating. Less than 30 days after that job, I lost my mom, and that could have really put me in a downward spiral. And then, other crazy things happened in my life that they were a lot. And being able to put one foot in front of the other and figure it out. I mean, my son went 18 months without talking to me, and we had a huge family trip, and everybody finally talked again at my mom's funeral. But that was hard. It was a
yeah.
family I've been close to my whole life, and so it would have been really easy to just lay down and be sad. And instead of being sad, I mean, I can't tell you how many tears hit the treadmill. I was the crying girl at the gym, but I was fine with that because it was what I wanted to do. And I was, I think had I been the same person I was before, I probably would have had another heart attack. I mean, the first one was from stress. And
Yeah.
so,
Mhm.
yeah,
And and one of the best ways, the greatest antidepressants ever invented, I believe
Mhm.
the greatest antidepressant ever invented is exercise.
absolutely. I
And
100% agree.
and it's hard to get started sometimes when you're feeling like crap and you're depressed, but
Yeah.
afterwards you're like, holy smokes, you're a new person.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you're overweight, it hurts. It hurts your joints. It hurts your knees. It hurts everything, you know? And I tell people my first day at the actual gym, the treadmill was on 2 miles an hour at a 0% incline, you know? I actually had a woman ask me on Thursday, she said, wow, you sure work out hard. And I just kind of smiled and I'm like, I have, you know, I got good reason behind it. And she's like, have you ever not been fit? And that hit me like, whoa, wow. Like, I've never been fit. Like, this
Yeah.
woman is seeing me as fit. And that
Right.
was really shocking to me. It was an aha moment. And I thought, wow, you know, when I first started coming to this gym, I grabbed the weights and ran to the back corner of the gym and got on a yoga mat and hoped nobody saw me. And now I'm lifting in front of the mirror, making sure my form is correct. And people that go there ask me, have you ever not been fit? And it's just consistency. It's literally just being in there and putting a little bit of work in every day and prioritizing yourself, prioritizing your own health, prioritizing your physical and mental health. And you kind of get both of them with one bang that way.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely all related. So,
Yeah.
um, what is your are you at your weight loss goal? Are you at your
Yeah.
optimal weight?
My goal was 160. And so,
Okay.
yeah, so I've gotten below that goal. I actually wear like a small or an extra small in most things now and a size one. And I've been a size 20 my whole life. And
Wow.
so, yeah, so my goal now is just to maintain the healthy heart enzymes, to maintain the low cholesterol, to maintain the muscle mass. You know, so my main goals now are internal versus
Yeah.
external, just to make sure all my hormones and everything stays balanced and healthy.
Yeah. And those things all follow. So
Yeah,
once your physical body gets healthy, all those other things get healthy. So
yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
So, where do you work in case anybody wants to follow the program that you've been following?
Yeah, so we're at the Spa by Horizon View. Over in Puyallup. So we're right by the State Fair in Puyallup, Washington. And then Horizon View Health is our medical director. Yep, that's it. And then
There you
Dr.
go.
Baker is he's board certified in bariatric medicine. So we have kind of the best of both worlds. And I actually decided to go back to school and become a nutritionist. It's been so life changing for me. In the past, people gave me like shopping lists that I didn't even know what was on it or how to cook it. And so I'm trying to bring like nutrition ideas to the table that are simple for people, where you don't have to overcount and overthink and over meal prep, and where it's kind of like just quick and easy, grab and go, like how to prepare things that can go in the freezer. So I have 10 hours left to get my degree that I thought I would get done since January, and I haven't gotten around to it. But I will. So,
Yeah.
but we do have a couple registered dietitians and nutritionists on staff too that help people out.
That's awesome. So Trish, tell us as we wind this podcast up, tell us what you have a passion for.
Gosh, my passion is helping other people. I love to share like my downfalls and my challenges and how I survived them. So if I can make one person feel like they've got some hope, that's absolutely what I'm number one passionate about emotionally. I love riding my horses. I love barrel racing and working out, but at the end of the day, what's most important to me is just spreading hope and light and helping people be their healthiest version of themselves, just so they don't run and hide when there's a photographer at the barrel race like I used to.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you being on our show today to share your journey. It's really, really inspiring. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Shawn, and Janet. Nice to meet you. I know she had to get back to work, but thank you very much. Yeah.
And listeners and viewers, tune into Health Solutions Thursday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, when we talk about some of the same subjects we were talking about today of exercise and how much exercise do you need actually, and what the intensity should be, and all that kind of stuff. So tune in when we have Sean Casey back on our show to talk about VO2 max and the importance of exercise, and why VO2 max is related to your overall health. So thank you, Trish, for being on our podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you, listeners and viewers, for tuning into Health Solutions with Shawn and Janet Needham. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.